What up, Big Sexy? This is Zuri, and on this channel, we're all about leveling up every area of your life. So today is a topic that kind of hits home for me. We're gonna be talking about depression, how to overcome it. Not over how to freaking thrive, like how to take your, what might be a weakness, occurred as a weakness right now, and turn that into a superpower so that you can actually live the life that you want. Because I've been through it. I'm very blessed to have a life that I'm extremely grateful for. Right now I'm in Buenos Aires. Nope, I'm in Cordoba. I'm in Cordoba, Argentina, going to Buenos Aires next week. I've been living in Latin America for the last 2 years. And I'm not gonna lie, there's even aspects where I have so many things that I've wanted for many years where I still don't feel connected to myself at times. And what I'm gonna share with you is how you can overcome that and some really practical things that you can do so that you can get back on track and actually feel like you can grab life by the balls, by the testes, and enjoy them. You wanna enjoy some testes? Let's go. So, little bit of background. I struggled with mental health as a teenager, and still do at times, but I feel like I've not only managed it, but I've actually thrived despite of it, to be able to live in a pretty incredible life, and which I anticipate is only gonna get better, which I know is only gonna get better. So what can you do to really identify, like, what's the issue and how are you going to come up with your own master plan to overcome that? Because a lot of this it's not rocket science. And a lot of us try to get a quick fix and some sort of external thing. And I'm gonna try and avoid getting the whole pharmaceutical topic, but we'll get into that later in a different video. But I'm very anti-pharmaceutical for many reasons. Some of them are essential, but if you're on antidepressants, I'm not a doctor, I'm not gonna give you medical advice, but if I was a doctor, I'd say get off them. Because that is not treating the actual root of depression. If it's changing your brain chemistry, it's, there might be a time and place for it, but if you're using that, it's gonna be very, very hard to live a normal life without it. And obviously there's different levels to this stuff, that it's not a one size fits all. Maybe it is a necessary requirement for you to do that, but what I wanna talk about is maybe some more holistic underlying root cause issues for dealing with depression that if you implement them, may help you start thriving in life. Because some of these things have helped me, I've studied them tremendously, but more importantly, I've actually implemented them and got to see the results on my own. And so that's ultimately what this whole video is gonna be for you, is things that you can implement on your own to see what works and what doesn't. Because not doing anything is not gonna usually solve the issue. So number one thing that you can start implementing to start overcoming this is start questioning, like, what's the feeling and why do I feel this way? And if I just process this with you as a teenager, it's hard for me I didn't ask myself these questions at a younger age. But obviously I was a teenager going through hormonal stuff. I was actually on some medication, not for depression, but I think it actually caused me depression. It was a skin thing called Accutane. I had really bad acne, so I had some self-worth issues around that and some self-loathing. Didn't like my appearance, just like high school stuff. And I never told anybody. I suffered in silence. And if you want to overcome depression, you can't suffer in silence. One of the things that is going to be huge is the community and the people that you keep. So tip number one, who is around you that the people are either like supporting you or they're not. And typically, if they're more neutral, they're a lot of the time going to be enablers and they're holding you back. So getting around and changing your social environment to something that's going to be more conducive, more uplifting, more positive, that's going to be really, really big. But the reason I think a lot of people are depressed is they're lost. They're disconnected from themselves and they don't have a strong purpose or a why as to why they're here on this earth. And so what I want to encourage you for is start questioning that. I feel like there's like a lot of great leaders in the past that have suffered with mental health issues, suffered with fear, anxiety, depression, all these things, but they had a calling that was greater than themselves, that it was more important than their feelings. And so my offer to you is, you have a good idea of what it is that you want to do and things that make you come alive. Because feeling depressed is really a disconnection from self, and one of the easiest medications is, okay, what can I do? What can I do in my life that's going to bring me more fulfillment, joy, and activities that are going to light me up? So for some people, I have a buddy of mine who's been on a very similar journey. He got really into running, and running became a number one priority for him. He had some addiction issues, and that was a really good positive outlet where he could actually get connected to himself by doing something that was healthy. So for me, one of the things that I do is work out. I don't necessarily like running. I like playing sports. I like playing soccer, basketball. But for me, weightlifting really helped me when I was in the pits of despair. Probably as like a 17, 18-year-old kid. I got into the gym, changed my life. So I'd actually start there. Physical exercise, there's studies to back this up, literally increase dopamine levels and can help be a cure for depression. Now, if yours goes deeper than that, physical activity might not just cut it. There's a lot of people that are friggin' shredded, they're jacked, but they're still depressed as hell, and you can see it, it's all over them. So that's just one thing that you can do, is get connected to the body. Second thing alongside with that is nutrition. What foods are you consuming that are literally like weighing down your energy? The foods, if you're having junk food all the time, if you're drinking soda, pop, all these terrible things. Like, I love candy. I don't eat it all the time, but I love ice cream. I've been getting ice cream a lot here in Argentina, delicious ice cream. But if you're I used to have binge eating issues where I'd like order a bunch of snacks and like eat them all in one sitting, and that's not healthy. You never feel good after it. It's not worth it. So the nutrition side is really important. Now, one thing that's really helped me lately over the last, I'd say 6 months, 8 months, is I've been on this my own self-growth journey, and it's getting connected to what made me come alive as a kid. What did I really enjoy doing as a kid? And I've been implementing daily acts of play into my routine. And the intention of this is to literally be a kid again, is to do what made you happy as a kid, because as an adult, we're just a bigger version of who we were as a kid. And if you can give yourself that space to really connect to what made you happy then, some beautiful things arise. So, for example, I used to be really big into sports. That was like my outlet as a kid, as a young adolescent, teenager. Sports is one of those things I always come back to. So one of the things I've been doing is I joined a few leagues to play soccer and basketball, just pick up, nothing super serious, but it is competitive. And that right there, I didn't give myself the gift of doing that because I was too busy. But I don't know where you're at with your journey specifically, but if you're too busy to do something that makes you feel alive, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, you need to make time for things that's gonna rejuvenate your soul so that you can show up better in the world, so that you can make more time for more important things in the future. So prioritizing something like going out and it could be painting. Maybe you're really good, you want to be an artist, or some people it's like rock climbing, video games. Like, I was even going back and playing video games for a little bit. That didn't quite give me the same fulfillment as it did as a kid, as much as sports. It didn't make me come alive as much. But there's certain things you can do if you make time for that are going to help pull you out of that energetic state. And the more you're out of that energetic state, the more your body's going to get used to, your mind's going to get used to not being stuck in the programming of the negative thought loops and the negative thought patterns that ultimately cause us to be depressed. So, moving your body. For me, I'm actually killing two birds with one stone. I still go to the gym. I'm playing sports. I'm playing Catan, Settlers of Catan with my brother regularly, just online. That's been fun. And then nutrition. Just actually nourishing your body, nourishing your mind, so that's one easy way that you can start making shifts that is going to make a big difference, especially over the long haul. So getting connected to yourself, getting connected to is going to be the most important thing. And so if you are in a position to do something as a kid that makes you come alive, I couldn't encourage you more to do that. A big practice for me over the years that's been really beneficial in terms of treating and managing depression, anxiety, is meditation. Meditation has been really important because what it does is it literally creates new neural pathways. So when you disconnect from the outside world and you go in and you connect to yourself, what you're doing is you can actually manipulate your physiology, and you can actually elicit emotions with just your mind, which is pretty powerful. If you don't believe me, just sit down and envision a beautiful sunny day. Imagine you got a mojito next to you. Imagine you're just taking in all these sun rays. Your physiology will change. So you can actually imagine and outplay. You can actually, your mind and your body can't tell the difference between an imagined experience and like a real experience that's happening right now in the physical plane. I learned that from Dr. Joe Dispenza. I went to one of his retreats. I got really sold on the meditations. He's got the science to back it up. And when I usually meditate for 30 to 45 minutes a day, and that's usually a nice sweet spot. If I can go an hour, that's usually even better. But by meditating and giving myself that space in the morning, you get to dictate the rest of your day. And what I mean by that is you giving yourself that space to literally connect to yourself and your body instead of just checking your phone first thing in the morning. Because I know if I skip meditation and I check my phone first thing in the morning, I know my day is going to be off. And it might not be a huge deal breaker, but it's going to be something like if I check my phone, I'm checking messages, emails, all that stuff, it's going to be cause for concern, and it's going to cause issues down in my road. I'm going to be distracted, scattered. So by starting off with something healthy like that, really sets the tone for the rest of the day. I'm just more likely to have a good day. And it's not going to be every day, it's the perfect day, but every day that you do it, it's like a muscle. Before you know it, most of your days will just get better and better. And if you know anything about the compound effect, the ripple effect of doing something positive over a long time, like going to the gym consistently, eating healthy, you get to see that in your body over time. So the mind stuff is heavily underrated. We're so focused on the external that the internal game is everything. So meditation, really huge. If you don't know where to start, I started when I was 19 with an app called Headspace. It was free then. I could get free 10-minute meditations. It's a great place to start. And then there's different meditations on YouTube. There's Joe Dispenza meditations. There's all sorts. There's transcendental meditations. There's inner child healing meditations that you can dive into. So there's really not an excuse not to do it. There's this saying that if you're too busy to meditate, if you can't afford 15 minutes to meditate, that means you need to do it for 30. We're living in this fast-paced world. We're so scattered with our attention. Connecting to self is going to be your best answer to hitting this depression head on. And what I'll also share with you is about last summer, I was dealing with some existential issues. Really feeling lost and not really knowing which direction I wanted to take my life. And what I actually read was this book called Letting Go by David Hawkins. And in the book, the concept is really interesting because you can see he actually demonstrates a scale of emotions ranging from, I think shame is the lowest, then it goes apathy, then it goes anger, then it goes peace, and joy and love is the ultimate one. And what we actually, if you look into Joe Dispenza and you look into this stuff, there's actually scientific proof that each emotional state carries a vibrational frequency. And the heavier the emotion, the lower it is on the scale. So love, it's a very light emotion. People who are operating from love, I think he said like 1 to 3% of the population is actually living out in love. And you'll notice they're lighter, more good things happen to them, bad things happen to them, they just don't get beaten. They don't beat themselves up the way that most people would. And so when you're actually meditating and when you practice letting go of these heavier emotions, it's like literally taking off a backpack full of rocks, one rock at a time. And then eventually, if you practice this enough, then you'll go through life feeling lighter, more at peace, more calm, and then hopefully more joyful, right? That's the end goal if you can operate from this higher frequency. So really good book. That's one of the main things I'd actually recommend for mental health is letting go. And if you can practice what he teaches in that book, there's all sorts of meditations. I know the Sedona method is another really good resource to actually practice implementing letting go. and making more room for positive experiences in your life. So with that being said, these are just a few tools that you can look into and experience for yourself to find out what works for you. You might only need one of these implementations to make a drastic change in your quality of life. And if you just implement going to the gym, it's the easiest one, guys. If you do that one and you can stay consistent with it, you feel like you're progressing. And if you feel like you're progressing, you're more likely to not be stuck in this hopeless, woe is me, my life's so hard. Like, if you feel like you're progressing, Tony Robbins says happiness is progression. So the more you can actually feel like you're moving towards a goal, getting better at something, that's gonna be a really huge asset for you. So maybe you need to implement all of these. And if you do implement them all, you're probably gonna get there a lot faster. And so find out what's preventing you from feeling connected to yourself. And you need to create a discipline of either doing something fun, taking care of yourself, meditating, that you're gonna feel like you're progressing. And over time, the ripple effects, I'm just excited to see what that's gonna look like for you. So with that being said, I have more on this topic that we can maybe dive into another video, but that should be plenty for you to work with. I hope this video was beneficial for you, and I'll see you in the next one.